Welcome, welcome, welcome. Woo! Welcome to Historic Fairview Cemetery, established in 1881. I'm Gail Rubin, the president of Historic Fairview Cemetery and the doyen of death. Check out the skulls. So excited to welcome you to our first Cemetery Stories, Life, Death, and Beyond event. We have a fabulous lineup of 16 storytellers. In between each of our storytellers will tell you a little story about Historic Fairview Cemetery. As I said, it was founded in 1881. Our first burial was kind of an illegal burial. A young lad from Corellis named Moshe Perea died, and they brought him out here to be buried. Why? Well, this was way out of town in 1881, and the soil here is sandy, so it makes it easy to dig. And since then, in 1882, the Albuquerque Cemetery Association was established, and we have 17.5 acres of burials here, and we will tell you stories of some of our permanent residents as we go through this evening. We are starting a fire for the idea of writing notes to your loved ones on this Day of the Dead, November 2nd, and you're welcome to, once we get the fire going good, come over to our little ofrenda table and write notes to your loved ones and put them in the fire to send them off into the ether. With that, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, the fabulous T.K. O'Geary, with her story, A Fun Funeral.
There was a woman over on the side. Tears were just streaming down her face. We were at French's funeral home, a visitation from my mother who had just recently passed away. And there were plenty of tissues in the room, so she was taken care of. She was crying so hard, and then I realized they weren't tears of sorrow. She was laughing so hard. Tears were just streaming down her face. Now, she was wearing a bright blue dress with yellow decorations, sharing a story about my mother to a fellow who was in a light red plaid shirt. You see, we had asked people, the family and I, in Mom's obituary, please wear color. We wanted to bring Mom's personality to life. She was a positive thinker and always brought color wherever she went. And the room was filled with color. Everybody just listened to what we had to say. We continued bringing Mom's personality to life in the visitation. Now, in many funerals, you will have prayer cards, right? Now, what's on a prayer card? Anybody? There's prayers, there might be a photo. I love it. You have a very smart audience, Gail. So there might be a quote, there might be a scripture saying. Well, we had playing cards. You see, in our family, we played 500 rummy. And when we came back to visit, frequently there would be another card game that would come out. My mother always had a deck of cards at the ready in the hutch that was in the dining room, which is where we played most of our games. So we had these playing cards. Now, on the reverse side of the card, there was a quote. Take a moment to enjoy the little things in life. Love, Joan. We also stapled a chocolate to the front that was in the shape of a smiling sunburst from Buffett's Chocolates here in town. Buffett's Chocolates was a big part of our life, and Mom was over there so often, they knew her by name. Whether it was a holiday or a special occasion or a just because day, she brought chocolates. Whether we were going to a meeting or visiting somewhere, or someone just needed that pick-me-up, we had chocolates from Buffett's. So everybody had a smiling sunburst of chocolate on a playing card with a quote from Mom. Now, there were many opportunities to bring Buffett's into the life of our family, And it was because Buffett's represented something so similar to my mom. Upbeat, friendly, and very serious about bringing smiles to people's faces. And there were smiles and color all over this visitation room. We were so happy. Now, people paid their respects. Some people met up with friends that they hadn't seen in a while. Some made new connections, and some were surprised. How in the world did you know Joan? You see, Mom connected with everybody. Diversity was just something that was part of her life. Now, my sister Wendy and I had split up in the visitation room. She and her family were near the casket, and I was near the front door with my husband to greet people as they came in, because there was a lot of people that came to see her. And as I looked over my shoulder into the outer room, I took in the posters that my nieces and their husbands had put together with all these pictures of Mom and the family. And then photo albums and pictures and photos on the table. And of course, that basket of cards with the chocolates. And as I was standing there taking it all in with a big smile, one of French's staff came by. "Miss O'Geary, there's someone out here. They have balloons. Should I let them in?" Wonderful, of course, yes, bring them in. This lady bounced in with a big bouquet of colorful, helium-filled balloons and handed them to the French's staff member. He put it on the table, and the lady came up to me. "You don't know me." And I thought, yeah, you're right. "I knew your mother. We were neighbors. One day, I was talking to your mother about a friend of ours who had recently passed, and your mother was complaining. Why do people give plants when somebody dies? Or flowers? You've just lost a loved one, and then if you don't know how to take care of plants, and it dies, that's dead too. And flowers, they die. It's terrible." So I asked her what she wanted, and she said, "Balloons." So she brought the balloons. The balloons looked great, and they added more color to the outer room. Between the balloons, the playing cards, and the entire room full of people, we felt we had done well in representing Mom. Now, yes, there was still a big hole in our hearts, but she gave us some great memories to live by, and we're glad that we were able to give her a fun farewell that represented her personality with the joy and color that she brought to life. We now think of her fondly whenever she comes up in our minds and in our conversations. We remember the joy, the laughter, and the tears, both of sorrow and of laughter.
Thank you to these companies and organizations that make the Before I Die New Mexico Festival possible. A good goodbye. Gail Rubin puts the fun in funeral planning. Compassion and choices, improving care, expanding options, and empowering everyone to chart their end-of-life journey. Daniel's Family Funerals and Cremations, Fairview Memorial Park, Gabaldon Mortuary, Sandia Memory Gardens, and Vista Verde Memorial Park, all in the Albuquerque area. Estate Pros, offering professional dispersal of personal possessions due to a move, illness, or death. The Final Exit Network, educating about and defending the right to choose at end of life. French Funerals and Cremations and Sunset Memorial Park in Albuquerque. Gathering Us, providing in-person and virtual memorial services and online memorial pages. Keeper, providing hybrid and virtual memorial services and keeping memories alive with online tributes to preserve, celebrate, and share life legacies. MORRIS Hall, estate planning attorneys in New Mexico and Arizona. Remembering a Life, your guide to honoring a life well lived, from planning a tribute to mourning a loved one. And Retirement Extender, investment management services with a personalized strategy recommendation based on your needs and objectives.